Dave Crane. I'm joined by the amazing talent of Arijit Bhattacharyya. Now, if you don't know how wonderful this guy is, you need to Google him, because not only is he accomplished in his own right as an angel investor, as a startup mentor, technologist, TEDx speaker, and international business developer, but he's also the man behind the World Leaders Summit. So we've got lots of questions, we've got a limited amount of time. Feel free to ask questions also as we go along. But Arijit, welcome to BizzTalk. Good to see you.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you, Dev.
And
thanks for a lovely introduction.
Thank you. I'm in Dubai, as you can see. You're in India at this moment in time, I believe?
Yeah, I'm in India at the moment. Yeah.
Wonderful. I can see a whole host of awards behind you, subtly put there because we need to see how wonderful you are at doing what you do. Now, I'm going to start off with a tough question, but it's a really challenging question. Yet 2020 has disrupted every aspect of every business. So once upon a time, to say somebody was a leader literally just meant that they've got the big office and they kind of got their name on the door of any business. But this is the first time in my experience where leadership really does mean you sink or swim on an international level. Would you say the same?
Yeah, completely agree. So if you look at the, we actually define the market in such a way that you have post-pandemic and you have a pre-pandemic era. We call it as an era. So when you look at the post-pandemic era, which is coming up, of course, 2020 is like teaching humanity a lot of things. And when you talk about leadership has to be global. If you're not thinking it as a global perspective, I think you are losing or you're missing something on your own. And leadership may not be like how many followers you have. Rather, leadership would be and has to be how many leaders you have created so far in your life. And that's Absolutely. The motto of World Leaders Summit. That's
a really interesting angle, because it's not necessarily that you have to be a leader because you're the CEO. You can be a leader on your own, completely independent, but you're showing an industry or a genre or a niche the way to move forward. So that could be such a big global term then. How do you categorize what makes an effective leader?
Super. It's an interesting question. Honestly speaking, if you look at an individual person, you can get a lot of life coaches probably in front of your YouTube. You can get a lot of people talking about a lot of things in life, but those things are good for, speaking. As per my understanding, there are actually leaders who can practically execute things. It doesn't matter whether you're a CEO or CTO or you are not a C-level position. It can be like you are executive. You are on your own. Maybe you are a proprietorship company. Maybe you have only 5 people. But yes, if you are doing that kind of stuff as a guerrilla marketing method, of course you are a leader. And if you're changing maybe one person's life and you are making him as a leader who is making some amount of small disruption, doesn't matter how big it is, but the impact is really, really big, then you are a leader. And that's the thing that's coming up. So if you look at the kind of leadership categories, which is practically happening in and across the border, I define it like innovative leaders who are practically thinking completely new stuff out of the blue. Second kind of leader is probably they are making some amount of change of existing business. They are making the change into the existing business model, which is probably bringing them more revenue and more attraction. The third kind of leaders are collaborators who are saying, hey, you know what? I have a hotel, that's perfectly fine. But during pandemic, I'm not getting any kind of revenue. I'm not getting customers. But yes, it is open for you. And probably because you can't open your office, you can bring your employees, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 10, maybe 100. I don't care. I'm just giving you the rooms and the food and the AC and the other, facilities inside the hotel. You can use it. You can bring your employee and their, families. They can stay here for maybe next 2 to 3 months with a basic cost. So what will happen? I'm not going to lose everything in my hotel. I'm not going to make loss. So I'll be in a win-win kind of situation. I'm not going to make profit, but then I'm not going to make losses as well. So these are the kind of collaborative leaders, which is actually evolving during pandemic, is really, really important. So once the pandemic is over, these guys will have a sustainable money in their pocket so that they can grow more. The fourth kind of leader, if you look at, probably few of the Asian countries, I can see that those guys are saying, hey, you know what? I'm a kind of leader who is not going to say that I'm going to invest money on your business, but yes, I'm a kind of leader who is open to give you business from my network because I can't execute it. I don't have the manpower now. I'm stuck, but I'm overloaded with orders. My customers are asking to execute things. So let me open up my, my mindset, give you those orders, you execute it, give me a small bit of money so that I can sustain. So I think these are the different kind of leadership that has been evolved during pandemic. And the last category are probably kind of sustainable growth that these guys are going to see in near future. And I would love to, touch upon another point regarding investment perspective. You know what, during this pandemic, there are a lot of business deals that happened. People have invested good amount of money. There are funds, according to law, you just can't, dry off your VC fund. You have to invest, right? And year is going to end for a lot of them. So of course, there are multiple deals that happened. All people need to understand, maybe the startups, maybe the SMEs, is how to make their business lucrative enough for investment. Nobody is going to, listen to your story and say that, hey, I'm there, I'm just going to invest on a mere idea. That's not going to happen. You need to create something sustainable and it's profitable for investors nowadays. Let me tell you the secret, Dev. It's profitable for the investors. Earlier, probably they are going to get 20% stake. Nowadays, they are actually, they are flooded with those kind of options where they can get 35% of stake. And for startup, it is good. They can sustain, they can continue. And for the investor, after 5 years, the return is multifolded. So those are the kind of things that's happening. And this is actually the right time. This is not the wrong time to flourish your business or scale up your business. This is the actual time. If you're smart enough, I think you should think of something innovative to shake hands with your prospective partner rather than sitting idle in your home, just like me.
Absolutely. Well, when times like this are challenging, cash flow is king. So obviously anybody who has got the ability to have lots of cash to invest in stuff, you can really get stocks, you can get investment, you can get businesses running really cost effectively. But here's another thing. How much do you think people are embracing? I mean, this is a really loaded question, so I quite expect it to last for 20 minutes, but let's not make it last 20 minutes. The landscape has changed. You mentioned in your opening statements about the fact that location is different. You're not running a business just for the area where you live. You're now online. And so effectively, you're going from your region to potentially 7 billion clients who could interact with you with your business. But that means you have to reinvent yourself in many ways to start thinking of yourself as a global entity. Now, that's not easy. And I think the biggest challenge, first of all, is mindset. The second challenge is your ability to understand the tech and the digitization of going to a global market. How important is that for a leader to step away from everything that's built up and reinvent it as a digital entity, maybe dropping 95% of what he used to make revenue from before to now look at a different business model?
Pretty cool question. Honestly speaking, let me give you probably 1 to 2 liner answer to it, or rather, let me address it this way. Say for an example, in World Leader Summit, it's an online summit. We are not doing it offline. Okay. Now, why do you have food partner as a partner? What they are going to do? You know what we're doing? We are saying that if you are in particular state and you have access to every part of the state, we are offering you the number of audience and the speakers we are going to have into that particular location. You can deliver your food to their places, during their lunchtime and during their dinner time. So what happens, in a way, you have an option to grow and network and give your brand visibility to that many number of people. And we are doing it multifolded with each and every region of the world, wherever we have got the access, from wherever we are getting the registration, from wherever we are getting the speakers. So you can actually order from Dubai, and we have a food partner in Dubai, and they can deliver food to you at your doorstep. The best part is it is always 50% discounted for the event. So eventually, if you have a good quality product, now that's a challenge, to be very, very honest with you. That's a challenge. We cannot cross-check the quality until unless we test it, right? So, so when we partner with a food delivery partner in southern part of Africa, we don't know the quality, we don't know the test. But what we are doing now, this is the main aspect of that question. What we are doing, we are cross-checking online, checking their reviews, checking them on Google Maps, checking them on multiple different review websites. Now, after the satisfaction level, we say, okay, fine, we are okay to have you as a food partner. And for them, it's a better opportunity because they don't have to find the client. We are giving them the client. And it's not totally free, so they can make money. Like probably the profit percentage is really low, but on a volume basis, they can at least sustain for 10 days. Come on, man. That's the kind of platform that we are giving.
Well, the challenge for you, of course, is when you get these incredible food partners, and I love the idea, you're going to have a couple of things that happen. First of all your delegates will be sat eating sandwiches while speaking live. And also at certain time zones, people will just go missing because unless they've ordered pizza, they've got to go and answer the doorbell because your food partners have arrived with a package for them. So that's going to be a challenge all the way through the entire event. So
come on, that's a beauty of it. You know, if you are full of belly with pizza, you are good to sit in an online conference for 10 hours.
Well, you know the truth to that. That's not true. All that happens, you're going to make sure the microphones are switched off. Otherwise, you're going to have snoring from people who fall asleep after a good meal in front of a laptop. That's always a challenge.
True, Dave, but I think we should have a music partner for this, right? Who can give us background news so that it can optimize those snoring of food eating activities.
Well, I think with Zoom, you've got enough different apps to give them bunny ears while they're sleeping and just take a snapshot that you can share in a global market. And that'd be interesting. So I love that answer. And I love the way that you collaborated with different regions, because that shows that truly you're thinking about the event as a real global event, not just a conference. Now, this is a big problem, because since lockdown, everybody's been putting on webinars. They've been trying to do a digital version of a conference that they had before and dying miserably because the business model doesn't sustain for a number of different reasons. One of which is the speakers aren't up to scratch. They're not effective enough in front of a live audience, or the audience has got other distractions. They're not physically in a hall. They can just go click and disappear. Now you've got this incredible event coming up. How is it that you're going to guarantee that when people come along to the World Leaders Summit, they'll stay all the way through? What is it so great that's about your event that's going to have people staying?
Super question. Honestly speaking, it's true World Leaders Summit. So let me give you a basic idea when we are starting and how we are ending a day. We are starting at 3 o'clock Indian time, which is 3 p.m. because we have speakers from US towards South Korea. It's a full globe, different time zone, different region, right? And we are ending in Indian time, 11 p.m. So what's going to happen in the initial time, 3 o'clock, we are going to get people from Australia. We are going to get people from southern part of Africa, few part of Northern Africa as well, and from the Middle East. And when the event is actually going towards, the middle timing, like for an example, 7 o'clock, 7:30, we are going to get people from Asia. A lot of Asians will enter. And of course, few of the people who are from Australian part, they will leave. I'll tell you the reason why they are leaving. So they have their culture, like they would love to spend their time after 8:30 with their family, rather than, sitting idle in a World Leaders Summit, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But yes, we are completely okay with that. So the way we are managing, the initial part will be for those part of the globe where people would love to join with their, timing, like 2 hours to maximum 2.5 hours. And rest of the time is split it with different time zone, different countries, different region, so that as a speaker, when you are coming, you have flooded with different questions from various parts of the world. Now, I can't guarantee that all Australian will go away, but yes, we have the system where we can monitor how many people are staying back. According to the load balance, we are changing everything so that things become very, very smooth. So from speaker's point of view, you get a pleasure. Okay, fine, you're getting a lot of questions, you're interacting rather than only speaking. That's the request from my end to all the speakers. So it's not going to be a kind of monotonous speaking slot. It's going to be basically an interactive mode, because as per my understanding, it's a kind of open house where a moderator will pick up best possible questions from various social media, because we have a lot of partners. So, and then they will filter out those questions to the speaker and he will give the answer. But because of many speakers, like 110 speakers for 10 days and approximate 6 judges for the startup award, and of course the business matchmaking sector, we have split it across the timing, like 20 minutes each speech and 10 minutes to 15 minutes for interaction. So that's the way we are trying to make it happen. And I hope that with your good wish, we can make it, a great success.
I honestly wish you the best of luck. Over 100 speakers, getting them to stick to 20 minutes and not say, tap, 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 is my mic working? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? What? And all those. I've been on many conferences where those challenges happen all the way through. But I want to ask you a different question now. I'm sure you'll be ahead of that and on top of it. So is it a Zoom-based event, or are you putting it onto a different platform?
No, we are putting up it into a different platform. Although we have Zoom into it, we are actually mixing it with various different platforms. So as a speaker, you have to actually log in with 2 different apps. I can share that information maybe later on, and then your interaction will happen with 2 different apps with similar kind of audience, but not the same audience. It will be similar. For an example, in particular countries, few of the apps are not, approved. Those apps you can't use. So for that reason, we are using 2 to 3 apps so that people can attend and they can probably enjoy and ask questions. So it's not going to be only a Zoom-based one. No.
I understand. Was there a challenge where you're setting it up? And I understand why you've got the different platforms, because some countries don't like the security involved in certain platforms.
Challenge.
But when you put it together, did you consider going to a completely virtual platform where everybody would be cartoon avatars? Because
lovely question.
That's one of the areas that I see a huge growth in, but it has to get an uptake from people like you organizing quality, respected events where you say, right, that character that looks like Lara Croft, or in my case, Bob Marley, that one is you in this new virtual world. Did you consider it, or is it too far down the food chain?
Super question, Dave. I'm really glad that you asked me this question. So I'm from the virtual reality and gaming background for last 22.5 years of experience. And we have created such kind of scenarios where people would love to. Let me give you a small USP of ours, what we do as a technology company. So we convert celebrities. We pay them to become our game character. We convert them into a 3D simulated character to become a superhero into our games. It's not related to the event. I'm just giving you a small output, or rather small answer, what we have. So we have been doing it for last 10 years where technology was not that evolved, So we did those kind of 3D avatars approximately 10 years back, where we made India's first superhero-based game called Shaktiman. And then we created multiple number of mythology-based, 3D character-based, superhero character-based games and all. So the idea initially was to make this event on a 3D virtual platform. Now, I was really excited about it. We are going to do a platform where people can actually log in with their LinkedIn account, and then they can have their own 3D avatar. They can sit in the room, they can hear the speaker, they can interact, talk. I'm not sure whether we are going to continue with that or not. I'll tell you the main reason is still upcoming. I mean, people can't adopt that so fast because we have a lot of different variety of audience. It might happen because of the network load. They just can't enter into that 3D platform. So we have to take care of those aspects as well. There will be situation from various part of the world. They will not get super cool internet connection. So that's the reason probably at least this year, we'll skip this idea of making it completely on 3D virtual platform. It was earlier decided that we'll be doing it, but when it's like around a month back, we decided let's drop the idea. In fact, we invested a lot on that, but then we dropped that idea just because that we wanted to give a better experience rather than better technology. And I believe in UX rather than UI. So thanks for the question, but yes,
I can
no.
see how much it lit you up and animated you to be able to talk about your favorite subject. So I want to stay in that lane because right now, I mean, certainly in Dubai, I did an event about a week ago for the world's biggest fountain opening. And it was a Guinness World Record, about 5,000 people, socially distanced, and a spectacular event. But it still didn't feel like a proper event should be. It's going to be a while before that happens again, but we also do have the platforms that you've mentioned. I see a hybrid potted version of live for the people who want to attend and many thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands watching from home as the end game in 5 years' time. How do you think the journey is going to be between here where we are, where, as you've rightly said, internet connection, people maybe not seeing it as being corporate enough or not quite respecting the platform, given the choice you could have Zoom, at some point it's got to move on. Add artificial intelligence, add VR, add mixed reality. Where do you see this journey going?
I mean, beautiful question, Dave. Honestly speaking, if you look at the technology part of it, virtual reality is the future. We all know that. It is happening. The main challenge is the hardware. If you want to do something on VR, you need that glass, which you need to buy. But I personally feel, augmented reality is more promising than virtual reality. You just need your smartphone to probably enter into a virtual 3D room or maybe a situation, maybe a fountain, doesn't matter. You can project it using your smartphone itself. You can have it on the thin air. And if you look at mixed reality or extended reality, the future is coming in such a way that with these specs, like yours, like mine, you will just have an option. More probably this will be a much bigger like this, which is we call as AR glasses. That's the future. Those are the kind of stuff that's coming up. And when you talk about AI, I was speaking around 2 years back in one international conference, probably in China. I was sharing about what's coming up. Let me share the same story. And after that sharing, probably things matured. I was advising a large MNC to make this. And that happened. So my talk was basically, imagine a situation that you have a normal glass, like a AR glass, and you are driving. And the AR glass can actually detect your blood pressure and your emotions because it's connected with your eyeballs, your retina, and your neurons. Okay, it's easy to do that. I mean, nowadays it's not a big deal. Okay, and it can detect that whether you are hungry or not. It can actually understand at 5 o'clock probably you have something to eat, and you usually have a pizza, for an example. And while you're driving, your AR glass is saying that it's 5 o'clock, and I feel that this is time for your pizza. Would you like to order one? Now you say yes. So it will automatically fetch. You're not tapping anything, okay, Dave? You're just driving. Your two hands are in your wheels, you know? You're just not doing any kind of tapping. And it finds a nearby pizza parlor or maybe a cafe nearby to your area within 5 kilometers and gives you a small, simple feedback that this is what is happening. I can get 2 different shops and this is your choice. And you using your voice message, you say, okay, I'm going for choice 1. and the AR glass will say, okay, fine, I'm going for extra cheese and double olive pizza with few bit of mushrooms on the top of it.
You got
You
me
say,
feeling
okay,
hungry
fine.
now.
Yeah, okay, fine, you go for it. And while you're driving towards that location, your order is already ready. You just be there. It's your choice whether you will eat on the spot or you take it away, right? There, AR glass cannot help. You just drive away, okay? It's all done. Now, how did you pay it? Your banking system is actually connected with that AR glass. In the background, there is a blockchain-based security system which is giving you an encrypted allow to that particular restaurant to get the money from your bank using your credit card. The payment is done, your order is ready, you just be there, take it and drive away. That's the kind of future we are talking about. And when you look at the disruption, I was talking about this around 2 years back, just think, okay? And if you look at now, today, this is possible. In fact, I can go on with technology. There are multiple different technology that has been evolved during this COVID time. People don't have, a lot of things to do, rather they're thinking. People became innovative. People are becoming like artists. I can see a lot of my friends in my Facebook who are becoming artists during this COVID time. My God, that's amazing. That's super. And these are the kind of changes that's coming up in at least post-COVID time. It's not going to be only a brick and mortar job. Things will be, of course, a hybrid. I agree, completely agree with you. It's going to be virtual and physical. In fact, education is going to be changed like anything. At least if I talk from my point of view, in my country, Indian education is more on theory rather than practical, syllabus-wise, okay? Although students learn a lot, teachers try to, give them a lot of practical example, but this is changing. Because of COVID, the whole syllabus structure is changing. I made one syllabus during this COVID time for one university over here, and they accepted, they said that, wow, this is practical oriented, we wanted this. But when I did this 5 years back, they were saying, oh, where is the theory? Come on, we don't want all practical. So the mindset is changing. People are now thinking it's not about something like you have a mic and you are vomiting with your mic. It's all about if you can execute, that's fine. You come and you do your execution. It's happening in every part of the world, I believe so.
I love it. I love listening to you. You're an amazing speaker. You've got such a vision of where the world is going. And I know that we're short on time, so I want to throw you one last question, if that's okay with you, Arijit. And it's about the actual speakers and entertainment world. Right now, you've got entertainment on hold across the planet. You've also got speakers who will work for food, who will just go on and do Zoom calls and talk to anybody just to stay relevant. And they can't sustain a business model like that because there is no business model like that. As somebody who puts on speakers, as somebody who understands how technology is working and interacts with companies, investors, looks at business models, where do you think the future of a keynote speaker is going to be?
Very tough question, but let me take this question. If you look at the ad monetization part of the entire digital world, let me give you that perspective, and I connect you with the answer, the right kind of answer. When you look at the spending capability of any SME or maybe a startup, maybe a corporate, they don't have any other choice but to give ads to the digital world. So when you look at any kind of public speaker, his probably structure can be entertainment, his structure can be probably life skilling, can be education, doesn't matter, maybe knowledge sharing, maybe business coaching. If his content is really great, content is always king and it will be a king, right? With the relevant kind of keyword oriented speech, not the keyword that you're typing into your YouTube channel, the keyword oriented speech that's coming up with a voice tagging method from various parts of the world. And it's going to happen from the MNCs that Alexa will have an AI system which can detect your speech with those tags and search for relevant related companies who would love to spend money on that particular keyword. So as a keynote speaker, if you're living on the top of maybe as a public speaker, maybe that's your bread and butter, then this is the best time you work on your probably keyword tagging methods and a smart approach how this is happening. I can help always how this is happening. Companies like Google, companies like Amazon, companies like Apple, they have a pipeline to do such kind of activity. And when you look at ad spending capabilities, if your tagline or tagging is in that level, that structure, okay, say you're talking about automotive industry, okay, you're talking about say space technology, doesn't matter, okay, but your content is really rich, enriched, and your voice tagging can be done, you will have lot of option to make money from those kind of advertisement. You don't need only Google AdWords or maybe some third-party ad network, but yes, you can use and utilize your digital platforms to get those voice tagging tag back to these MNCs who will fetch money for you. And that's the kind of future that's happening and coming up. It's not happening, I shouldn't say happening, it's coming up. It's coming soon. I think people should adopt that kind of infrastructure very, very fast so that they can make money and be the early mover.
So just on that point, I mean, I do a daily TV show across all social media platforms, and I teach people how to do it. So what we're saying is speakers, you need to be creating, broadcasting podcasts, TV, video, things that will have your voice, because what's coming next, we've seen Gary Vee already invest a huge career in voice search. You need to start showing up on voice search. So when people are looking for it, you come up, and that's how you become a busy speaker again.
Not only that, let me try to make it simple. Say for an example, you want to touch, say the movie industry. So I'll start speaking like this. You know what? Yesterday I was interviewing one actress from XXXXYZ, whatever movie it is. And she was talking about how the casting happened. And the casting in Delhi is pretty cool. You know why it is cool? Because you get the YZ company to invest in her so that her skin becomes really blushing. And when she smiles, the blush becomes red. So I have used multiple different keywords, So those keywords are connected internally with the server, which can fetch those companies' products to your show. Am I making sense now?
Absolutely. So we're talking now that Google is looking at the stuff that's online and looking for relevance as we speak, or is this something that's coming up?
You're bang on. Yes.
Wow. Well, that's knowledge to me.
And with
I've got lots of actresses in Delhi who are blushing, and I'll be talking about them tomorrow morning on the next show. Arijit Bhattacharyya, it's been an honor to talk to you. We're really looking forward to hearing more about the Incredible World Leader Summit. It's happening, I believe, from the 7th of December. Is that correct?
Yes. 7th of December to 16th of December.
How can people connect with it and connect with you so they can attend this incredible event?
Well, it's www.worldleadersummit.com. There is a registration page. You can always register online. For B2B, that's a separate section. It is already there. That's directly connected with BizzTalk. And for normal registration, you can always talk to us, talk to BizzTalk, and we can wipe back something cool together with you.
Very exciting. I can't wait to find out and can't wait to attend and see the many speakers there. It's been an honor to chat to you. Fascinating. I have no doubt we'll be talking again in the future, because we only just peeled off the first level of that onion to where our wonderful experience of a post-COVID world is going to be. So thank you for joining us here on BizzTalk. If you just joined us for the first time, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this will be available for you to watch and have a look at all the many other videos that we have lined up for you as well. Meanwhile, I think we'll see you at the World Leader Summit. And Arijit, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening now in India. And in Dubai, it's about the same kind of time, minus 1.5 hours. So I'm looking forward to what we're doing this evening. Thank you so much.
See you soon. Thank you, Deb. Yeah. Thanks. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.